Pregnant women of Reddit, what is something you wish you knew before you got pregnant? Nosebleeds. Not currently pregnant, but when I got nosebleeds every few days during the first and second trimesters. From my mom. I paralyzed her from the waist down for a few hours because I decided to take a nap on her spinal cord in the third trimester. The doctor's response was, yeah, you'll be able to move again once they wake up. Pregnancy is pure body horror. This also happened to my friend. So crazy the doc is like, yeah, just wait it out. Your body produces a hormone called relaxin that helps loosen your pelvis in preparation for birth. Some women get II too much too soon and it loosens everything to the point you lose mobility and every day all day is painful. Also your body pushes so hard during birth you can feel yourself crap your own butthole out. Gave birth 2 days ago. I'm working up an apology for my midwife for yelling at her as she supported my butthole while I was pushing. I was not at my most gracious in that moment. I wish someone would have warned me about the constipation. Corollary. I wish someone would have warned me that fiber supplement does not equal stool softener. Today, we're at 26 weeks gestation. During labor the water breaking is not one rush of liquid. It's continuous and can occur for several hours. It's horrendous and messy and incredibly awful to deal with. It feels like peeing but you have zero control over anything, and if you tense up then everything is much more painful and weird feeling. Nobody ever told me that and I was very surprised to find out for myself. I wish someone had told me that no, your body does not magically go back to normal once the baby is out. You have weeks of healing. Either your ripped vagina or cut open stomach. Your boobs are still on baby mode and have a whole new set of problems now. Pooping will be terrifying, lol, depression risks are higher. Just a lot of stuff continues on after the baby. I don't know why people insist on visiting right after delivery. I am tired. I am busy with this baby. I am tore up from the floor up. Please come in a month when I can at least have some sort of a routine. The stuff that stays with your body afterwards. I developed allergies after I had my second. My feet definitely got bigger. Hormones are no joke. Hair loss. After I had my kid I lost a ton of hair. I would pull fists full of hair during my showers. I thought there was something wrong with me because no one told me about this. Went to Google, totally normal and it happens to everyone. It grows back eventually and you'll go through an awkward baby hair phase. Not currently pregnant, but I wish someone had warned me about muscle cramps. I had to learn a new way to pop my ankles because every night I would pop them and get massive Charlie horses in my legs that my fiance had to massage out. Oh god, the Charlie horses. And you can't reach down to massage your legs because you're too big to bend. That morning sickness isn't in the morning, and that I would be puking the whole time, not just in the beginning. Or that morning sickness isn't just puking. It can also just be this awful heck of constant nausea. First pregnancy I puked about 4 times. This time morning sickness was just constant nausea without any relief for 4 weeks. Puking would have at least bought me some downtime, but still not as bad as the people who have it or hyperemesis the whole pregnancy. Miscarriage is ridiculously common. I say this as someone currently carrying a dead baby waiting for the NHS to give me a surgical removal. How I'd get loads of random skin changes. Skin tags. So many skin tags. Moles growing into skin tags then dropping off. Like WTF body. Sandpaper dry skin. Which I still get from time to time. Just this one patch on the back of my right hand. My facial skin changing from T-zone oily to T-zone flaky and never going back. My psoriasis on my scalp going away. This did come back but not as bad. Here. So you stop shedding hair whilst pregnant and you get really thick lovely hair. A few weeks after birth you start to lose all that extra hair. Literally handfuls will come out in the shower and it's really freaky. I came here to say the skin tags never had a single one in 30 years. And then I got pregnant and they were everywhere. I had never heard any mention of them in any of the many books I read. Was not prepared at all. That cravings aren't just food. I crave dirt, particularly beach sand. The smell of the beach was excruciating. I just wanted to shovel handfuls into my mouth. I never ate dirt or sand and the craving went away when baby was born. A friend of a friend told me she craved freshly poured asphalt, so in a way I'm glad my craving was just dirt. My mom craved gasoline so badly she didn't trust herself to pump her own gas. My freaking boobs hurt so bad. I hit one in my sleep and woke up in excruciating pain. Like, WTF. I knew they got bigger, but the pain was a surprise. I was told by my sister about boobs hurting in the first trimester from growth. She forgot to mention my nipples would feel like they were burning in heck. The sickest joke of all, you stop being able to sleep way before the baby gets here. Everyone loves to tell me to sleep now while I can, but pregnancy leads to unexplained insomnia and I'm a total wreck already. Parents, before you get pregnancy, it's wonderful you have to do it. Parents 10 seconds after hearing you're expecting. Welcome to heck. No sleep for you. Prepare to age decades every month. How tired you can be in the first trimester. I was falling asleep at my desk most days. I always hear that labor pains were like really awful period cramps. Nope. Mine felt like someone was stabbing the front of my hip. And, I had heard about sciatic pain but was 100% unprepared for how bad it could be. I had a C-section and the gas pain was no joke. Had to sleep on an incline for days. How tired you can be in the first trimester. I was falling asleep at my desk most days. My wife is in her first trimester, and she's exhausted, sleeping 12 hours a night and often naps during the day too. It's crazy to me. She didn't expect it at all, and it's really frustrating her. That not all gynecologists are competent, and if you have a feeling yours isn't, find a new one. Mine was very personable, did my D&C for my miscarriage before my firstborn, didn't really give me any red flags until after I was pregnant again. Long story short, he forgot, I guess, to have me tested for gestational diabetes, and I had it. There were obvious signs that he didn't catch, that I didn't even know were signs until my new doctor told me. My son ended up having to be in NICU for 3 days after he was born because he couldn't regulate his own blood sugar. Every doctor and nurse I talked to along the way was appalled I hadn't gotten tested. He also didn't catch that I was anemic the whole pregnancy either. Thank God we're all healthy and happy now, but looking back I should have changed doctors. Each pregnancy is different, even with the same person. I have 3 kids. The first pregnancy was very typical and followed the normal timeline. Second pregnancy was awful. I was miserable and sick the entire time. Third pregnancy was easy peasy and I finally understood why some women liked being pregnant. Mine went in the other order. If my last had been my first I would have only had one. I wish I'd heard the term mother's apron before I had one. Like, there's warnings all over. Your body's going to change and some specifics on how, but everything I read and heard was reassuring me about how it would all mostly go back eventually. I'm still pretty bitter. Your hormones are crazy, literally making anything and everything that happens to your body a pregnancy symptom. Bloody nose pregnancy, hands dry pregnancy, itchy skin pregnancy. Pregnancy is the wild fricking west, y'all. I found this so frustrating. I like to know why something is happening. Pregnancy is not an answer. Like, by what mechanism am I having random dizzy spells? What specific hormone is making sleep impossible? You would think these things would be studied like crazy because women have been having babies forever, but nope. Basically nothing. No one ever told me about the third delivery, aka your first poop. I was struggling for so long. Second time around I started stool softener 2 weeks before my due date. Game changer. It was still scary but much easier. This is mostly a third trimester thing, but that when you are active and moving, it kinda rocks the baby to sleep. But as soon as you lay down to go to sleep, baby wakes up and starts kicking and spinning. Might not be super common, but I knew a lot of other mothers who complained about this, too. Lochia. It's basically the biggest period ever as your body expels the leftovers from carrying a baby, and it can go on for weeks. I will never forget being told that I might pass clots as big as a tennis ball and that was normal. So gross. Also, babies in the womb can have hiccups. Hiccups are weird enough when they are your own. It's bizarre to feel someone else's. Every pregnancy is different. This means some pregnant women can work out, hike, do their normal stuff just a little slower most of their pregnancy. Then there are some women who throw up the whole time, and they are weak and tired and just standing up takes time and effort. I was the latter, expecting at the same time as another in the former, and I was constantly compared and judged. Working out is healthy for you and the baby. If so and so can do it, so can you. Don't forget your hip ligaments are readying for birthing at 20 weeks. So here's some crunches for the rest of the pregnancy. My wife didn't have it happen that early, but we know someone who did suffer that. Sorry to be the Debbie Downer, but knowing things can go wrong in any situation. My first child was stillborn at 41 weeks after a healthy and normal pregnancy from an umbilical cord accident. Always trust your gut, count kicks, and advocate for you and your baby's health. Not a woman, but I wish I knew the warning signs of preeclampsia. Girlfriend was 7 months pregnant at the time and had been complaining of generally not feeling good with a constant headache that would occasionally break for a bit. I came home from work. I work overnights, to her sleeping on the floor, and I eventually got to bed, but I woke up 3 hours later to hear a thud and she was having a seizure. Turns out she went eclamptic. She ended up having a C-section. Daughter was in the NICU for a bit, but both are doing great now. What really put things into how close my girlfriend was to dying was the doctors and nurses saying how few people they've seen go eclamptic, and one of the nurses said she's only seen 3 cases in like 10 years and 2 of them died. You can do everything right and have an easy pregnancy, but baby is born prematurely. The kicker is you may never get a reason as to why. Obligatory not pregnant but mom who had a baby in the NICU for over a month. How being pregnant seems to make other people think they can make incredibly rude observations about your body that they'd never make otherwise. That you can get a horrible full body rash. It's a rare condition called PUPPP. PUPPP occurs in about 1 in every 200 pregnancies, and 70% of sufferers give birth to boys. I gave birth to a girl, so I was in the 0.15% of women who get this horrible, itchy, mind-numbing rash that I suffered with for over 2 months. I couldn't sleep. I sat half of my day in oatmeal baths. I cried a lot. The only thing that stopped the itching for a few hours was grandpa's tar soap, because it left a coating on my skin that soothed or protected it somehow. I never want to go through that again. The attention. I'm an introvert and I mostly try to keep to myself at work, but that's impossible now. I was pretty small before I got pregnant and I'm now 30 pounds heavier, so I'm really showing. People from other departments come and ask me how I'm doing, how far along I am, when the baby is due, what the gender is, if I've picked out a name, etc. It's exhausting. If you lose 10% or more of your body weight due to nausea and vomiting, it is a big deal and could put you and the baby's life in danger. If your OB acts like it isn't, find another doctor. Written by a 2-time hyperemesis gravidarium survivor. Lost 42 pounds during one pregnancy and 35 with the other, and that was with constant Zofran and IVs and a PICC line and hospital bed rest. Ugh, that's awful. I'm sorry you had to go through that. Everyone talks about pregnancy cravings. No one tells you that the opposite can happen. During this pregnancy, my second, I had aversions to most food until about 22-23 weeks. I'm 27.5 weeks now and finally starting to feel better about eating, but certainly don't have cravings. Not currently pregnant, but a mom. Pregnancy brain is real. It's not a joke. It's not exaggerated. When you start forgetting, misplacing, and outright losing things, you can start feeling like you're also losing your mind. Finding your missing remote in the daily drawer of your refrigerator is disconcerting. Finding the ice cream you just bought melted in the bathroom closet is enough to bring you to tears. Then you start screwing up or even completely forgetting words and even names, and the concern deepens. This is all normal. A combination of hormones, other changes in your body, changes in your eating and sleeping habits, and generally big life changes are doing a number on your noggin. It's okay. It's normal. You'll get through it and eventually the brain fog will clear. I told my boss that I've turned into an outdated phone, slow on processing, crappy battery life, and I forgot the third. Oh yay, out of memory. Not currently pregnant, but I wish I was told about the constant swelling of my ankles and feet. I swelled to the point of needing to buy shoes a size and a half bigger. Sometimes your feet permanently become larger. After 3 pregnancies, my shoe size ended up 1 size larger. How comfortable maternity pants are. I was stubborn the first time around and didn't want to switch over from my regular clothes. Once I had to, I regretted those extra weeks of discomfort, all because of vanity. Miscarriages are not spoken about enough. No one tells you how much it's going to hurt, nor how long your hormones will take ages to go back to normal, and how much it affects your mental health. How hungry you can be all the time, especially twins. Then how hungry you still are after baby comes. Then how hungry you are while breastfeeding. And sometimes the weight doesn't go away. At least the kids don't care. Been pregnant before. No one explains morning sickness. There is a difference between feeling sick and when you feel really sick, like just before you vomit you can feel it at the bottom of your neck about to projectile sick. Had that for 5 weeks straight. From my wife. How little you want to wear pants. And throwing up becomes not physical, but emotional. And apples suck when throwing up. Honey Nut Cheerios. Least bad. And get a good body pillow. How hard it can be to get and stay pregnant. Everyone imagines it will happen easily and quickly, and unfortunately, it's not the case for so many women. And for women who've dealt with infertility or loss, how much anxiety you'll have throughout the pregnancy. I find your comment oddly comforting. The pregnancy after experiencing a devastating pregnancy setback was one full of anxiety. I experienced some bleeding and thought I was losing this baby too. I didn't. She's 3 now, but the anxiety still hasn't subsided. I have an irrational fear that our time together will be too short. Maybe the enduring anxiety is normal. Your pancreas might just stop working. Gestational diabetes sucks. You basically have to eat really healthy, check your blood, or even take insulin until that kid is born. I thought pregnancy meant I could eat ice cream dip tacos, but I could barely eat half an English muffin without my blood sugar going over. So sad. My wife's currently pregnant, and in the middle of the night my Great Dane gets up and licks me in the face to wake me up about 2 minutes before my wife wakes up feeling ill. Every time. And the dog has never done this before in the 9 years we have had her. It's actually really helpful, but at 2 AM, the first time it happened I was very confused. That it's not uncommon to have thyroid problems or lose your gallbladder or both because of hormones, etc. That feeling like the bottom dropped out of you weeks after giving birth is not normal and might require therapy. That it's not a good idea to have an OB who loves being pregnant and thinks it's easy because she will have zero sympathy when you struggle. That giving birth later in life can actually kick you into early menopause. Maternal care and aftercare is crap in the US. You can poop good. I don't know if it's iron in the prenatal vitamins, or hormones, or a combination. But I haven't pooped as usual for months now. Prunes and prune juice are part of my everyday diet and still won't go back to normal. Also, not every woman gets morning illness. Not every woman gets mad cravings 24/7. It doesn't mean there's something wrong. Finally, a couple of now babied friends tell me you really should get some exercise while you can. It will make a difference in months 7 to 9. Yet to get there, but definitely working out as I go. Speaking as the husband, my wife was very annoyed when she learned later in her pregnancy the borderline miracle properties of ginger as regards morning sickness. Wished she'd known it from the get-go. For me, lemons were the answer. Weird but true. Smelling them and occasionally sucking on a lemon wedge would really cute the nausea down. It may seem obvious, but you will not sleep like you used to. I'm a belly sleeper and have had the worst time sleeping since like 15 weeks. Pregnancy pillow doesn't help currently 36 weeks organs, and I'm so happy there's a light at the end of the tunnel. This is my first and I'm debating if I want to do it again. I'm sure it'll all be worth it when I meet the sweet babe, but we'll see. IDKY, it says organs and my mobile is being stupid and won't let me edit, but whatever. I've lost all motivation at this point, my dudes. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.